What's up, Bleacher Bums? CK is in the house, going solo tonight. Mr. JC is off listening to some band down in Detroit. Supposedly, they're the real deal. Check in, Jay. Tell us who you are going to see and what you expect. Jump on the show if you want while you're on your way down. But we started off the weekend on the right note. We suggested Central Florida -3 over the SMU Mustangs, and yeah, they got obliterated 41-19. It was a little by halftime. You were kind of wondering, it's going to be one of these high scoring, tight games. They were up, I think SMU, they were up 13-10 at halftime. And then Central Florida came out in the third with a couple touchdowns. And then it was just a 17-6 fourth quarter for the Knights. Takes them to 4-1. SMU is falling back now. They're 2-3. So we don't really care about that. We just needed Central Florida -3. So yeah, that starts our college football weekend off on the right foot. But tonight we have got a NFL game. Tonight we have, let's take a look here. It's pretty, it's Indianapolis is taking on, let's see here. Bear with me. I got to get more than one computer here. It's crazy. Anyway, we got the Colts and the Broncos going head up. And as it stands, the line has not moved. It is still at -3 for the Broncos. They're at home. So usually in football, when it comes to sports betting, the home team gets 3 points. So they're pretty much thinking this is a deadlock. It's going to be a tight game. In that case, and I think Indianapolis is the better team. Let's go Indianapolis +3. And if you were thinking about the total, it's set at 43.5. I would lean towards the under, but I wouldn't mess with the game total here. This thing is just no. It's really going to be tight. Some of the projections that I came up with after computing all the numbers, putting everything together, I got the Colts winning outright. So you could possibly take the money line here. I have about a 23-22, somewhere in there. It's going to be 44, 45 points. The over and under is set at 43.5. No, it's set at 40. Well, is it set at 42? It keeps moving around. It's been kind of a lot of money's going. Yeah, 43.5. A lot of money is people are pounding this game for tonight. The Colts against the spread record right now is 4-6. Against the spread record for Denver is 3-7. So neither one of them are killing it. Some of the trends to look out for tonight. The Colts have won their last 3 games on the road as an underdog. So that's good for Indy. The Colts have covered the spread in 4 of the last 5 games as an underdog. This trend I'm not really falling for. But the average game score in the Colts' last 20 road games is 46.9 points, which would put that over the total, but that's 20 games. It's covering a couple years here. Definitely something I wouldn't pay much attention to. But as it stands right now, let's for tonight, let's jump on the Colts. Plus 3. If you can find 3.5, grab that. You always want to grab a hook if you're on the if you're dealing with the number 3, and you're getting the points. You always want to try to get that hook, because I'll tell you, the hook has been devastating. It can help you, but most of the time you're in a world of hurt. Okay, let's see. We have got let's go over. We can go over the. Let's see. All right, we can go over. Yeah, let's do this. Kind of winging it here. There weren't many good stories to talk about. So let's just jump into some of these college games for the weekend. We've got, it looks like we have got 4 tomorrow night. We got Nebraska Rutgers. Rutgers is getting 3 at home, which is, I mean, Rutgers are bad. Let's just face it. But you got Nebraska at home. Or, you got the Rutgers at home. Nebraska's on the road, and they're just, I don't know, they're just putrid. Rutgers are at least 3-2. Nebraska is 2-3. So definitely, I know on the games I posted on Facebook, you probably will never see Nebraska on my list. We have definitely faded the Cornhuskers. The Knights, though, they are on a 2-game losing skid, but they, they're still in search of their first conference victory this year. But it doesn't help that they've played Iowa and Ohio State, 2 of the better defensive teams they are going to see all year. The Rutgers pass defense has been horrible this year. So they Nebraska's probably going to want to air it out. But they did have a good game defensively against Ohio State, where C.J. Stroud was only 13 for 22, 154 yards. So the Cornhuskers, they come into this one 2-3, searching. Well, after their first victory after an FBS opponent in Indiana last time out. So they did beat Indiana. They still had an astonishing 12 penalties for 111 yards. And, boy, you got to cut down on those penalties if you got a game that's going to be as tight as this. Every penalty is going to mean something. So they better hope to cut those penalties down for this game. Now, Nebraska's defense has been their Achilles heel up to this point, as they rank near the bottom of the FBS in most statistical categories on a per-game basis. But with the Rutgers offense being so dreadful to begin the season, they'll gladly welcome the lousy defense of the Cornhuskers. They've actually been pretty solid offensively, Nebraska that is, but the Scarlet Knights have a good enough defense that they should be able to slow them down. The win against the spread in Week 5 marked Nebraska's first of the season, so Nebraska has not been good against the spread, and the spread only being 3 and Rutgers getting 3, it's kind of telling me that this is a game that the Rutgers could probably win outright. But if you want to play it safe, just take Rutgers plus the 3. You can play it down to 2.5 also. Then we've also got Houston and Memphis. That should be a really good game. The over and under is set at 57.5. Memphis 4-1, surprisingly. Houston 2-3. We will be looking at. Let me see. I've got what I got that game set at. There are so many games. I listed 62 games, plus I posted all the FCS games also. I listed the top 10. So you can go on Facebook, check it out. I've got all the games already listed. I've basically spent 12 to 14 hours a day on these. Haven't got much sleep. So that's what happens when you're handicapping these by yourself. It takes a long time. But as it stands, let's see where we've got. I suggest instead of taking the 2.5 points for Memphis, which I was kind of leaning towards, let's take Houston and Memphis over the 57.5 points. I know I'm in the minority on this one. They're saying to take the under, but just the way the games have been coming out, the way the defenses are playing, the quarterbacks are just rifling it all over the place. I think they'll easily hit 30 points each. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a 3-point game, but I can see both these teams hitting 30. So let's go over 57.5. Now, this game was just Nevada and Colorado State. It's just a joke. Two of the worst teams this year in college football. Nevada surprisingly is 2-3. Colorado State is 0-4. The one thing that really scares me in this game is Nevada's at home. And like I said before, usually you get 3 points right out of the hole when you're at home. Nevada's only favored by 3.5, and that's got to tell you something. Colorado State they're at the bottom. They're down there with Hawaii and being one of the top worst teams in all of college football. So why is Nevada only getting 3.5? That just not feeling it. Something scares me about that. So even though I think if the total is set at 44, these teams, they can't score points, but they against each other they might pull out maybe between 20 and 22 points a game, and that would put you right at the 44 point mark. So I can't see taking a total here. Let's take Nevada minus 3.5 because these are I handicap every game. So usually these are going to be leans at best. If I had to lean one side or the other, either a total or take the game, that's kind of how I do college football. I'll give you my game best bet of the week. Then I give you my top 3 runner-up to the best bet. Those 4 games get included in our overall total, Bleacher Bum Sports totals. So when you see our totals posted, and they'll be up on our website, we got years worth. So check them. You can check that out once we get the website rolling with a lot of our new material. You'll see our winning percentage is well above 60%. We do really well with our best bets. The leans, of course, are just leans, so we don't tally those up with our final total of our winning percentage. So I've got I've got all these games listed down in more in like my leans for the week, and then so no Nevada -3.5, and then we've got UNLV and San Jose State. Another just this one 6.5 points going to San Jose. I wouldn't take either side. This one I would definitely go over the 52.5 points. That one that was actually a pretty I kind of like that number there. Seeing the way these teams played. Let's see. Let me pull up their last scores. They have their defenses are not very good. Okay, so we're looking at 52 points. All right, so we've got all right, so we've got UNLV. We've got a game against North Texas. Ended up UNLV won 58-27. So you're looking at 85 points there. Utah State, they won at Utah State. That one ended up at 58. Idaho State ended up with 73 points. Over on San Jose's side, more on that's where they probably get the 52 points. Wyoming, they were at Wyoming. They won 33-16, so that's 49 points there. So I can see where they come up with the 52, and they think San Jose, they're favored in this game, which I kind of find hard to believe. UNLV leads in passing yards by well over 300 yards. Rushing yards, they've doubled up on San Jose. Receiving, they're pretty much dead even. Rushing yards per game, UNLV is 102 in the country compared to San Jose at 251st. Passing yards, they're pretty close, 90th and 53rd. UNLV is a little behind there. Total yards per game, UNLV is 86th in the country, and San Jose is 161st. So I don't get the 6.5 points difference. That's why if I were to take a side, I'd go with UNLV. They just seem like they're going to cover that number. So that's where I would go with that game. So there's your 4 games for tomorrow night. Pretty basic, low caliber type of games. Nothing really to write home about. Now, my top 4 games I already have posted at Bleacher Bum Sports on our Facebook page. So go check that out. You will see the top 4 bets. The best bet of the weekend, in my opinion, and after going through all these games, I mean, sometimes your mind starts to go crazy and you start thinking, well, it could be this game, could be that game. Oh, coin flip here, coin flip there. But it's got to really stick out for me to make it my number one shot. And this one, I just couldn't find another game that I know every year things change, but something tells me that this game is going to be a shootout. So the best bet of the week, we're taking Wake Forest and Army over 64.5 points. Last year when they faced off, and I know year to year it changes, but a lot of these players are coming back. So do they get better on defense? Do they get better on offense? We will find out Saturday. last October when these two matched up, the final score was 70-56. Wake Forest scored those 70 points in under 18 minutes of possession. And they were nearly flawless on offense with 638 yards to 0 turnovers. And this is kind of what sold me. Sam Hartman, the quarterback, is once again heading the Demon Deacons passing attack. He already has 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions through the first 4 weeks. He is one of the more efficient passers in the nation. He is probably going to be playing on Sunday. Where he gets picked, I have no clue yet. Haven't really dug into that. But he's an explosive playmaker. He's highlighted by A.T. Perry, who will be a fantasy football star at the next level. According to PFF, Wake Forest has the 50th ranked pass blocking unit, 30th best passing grade, and the receivers ranked second best in the country. They are capable, their rushing attack that keeps defenses honest still. And the Army defense has been lackluster to begin the season. Now, will Wake Forest throw up 70 points again? Doubtful. But we're just looking to go over 64.5. You gotta believe Army's going to score some points. The line on this, the last time I saw it was 16.5, favored in Wake Forest. I've got that obviously in my lean section. I just couldn't get to it. I tried, and Army's a sneaky team. We've seen them give Michigan trouble. They're just one of those teams that they've got that weird triple garbage offense type thing where they got all these guys in the backfield. They start running in different directions. So they can kind of throw up, they can run time off the clock also. So that's another reason that line is kind of hovering around, mid 60s. That thing should be up in the 70s easily. So we'll see what happens, but I have that as your, cha-ching best bet of the weekend. Love it. My other 3 games that I really, 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 really like are James Madison. It's a small school. They're at home, minus 11.5 over Arkansas State. I've got Coastal Carolina and University of Louisiana Monroe, and we're going over 57.5 points. And then we're going to the big dog, Alabama and Texas A&M, and we're not picking a side here, guys. We are not. We're going over 51.5. It just seems to make the most sense. I mean, there's just so many games to choose from, but that one just seems to be the way to go. Now, if you were to take a side with the Alabama, Texas A&M, I just don't think there's any other way you could go but to take the Alabama side, if that's kind of how you want to play that game. Because I know it's the top game of the weekend, at least one of them. So that's that's the only way you could play that game. Another one that was intriguing that almost made my best bet list was the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, -9. It was an interesting number. Texas Tech fell to 1-1 in conference play after last week's contest against K-State, in which they gave up 37 points on an astounding 343 rushing yards. Texas Tech has now allowed 3 separate 100-yard rushers in their last 2 games and is yet to hold an FBS offense under 27 points. The Cowboys, on the other hand, enter this matchup undefeated with extremely high aspirations. They're up to number 7 in the poll, in the AP poll. They have been led by some stellar play from their dual threat quarterback, Spencer Sanders, through just 4 games. He's completed 66% of his passes. He's got 1,282 combined yards between the air and the ground, and he's got 15 touchdowns. Now, the Raiders have been fairly just one-dimensional, with their pass completely taking over their offense with less than 113 yards of rushing, and that's definitely not going to get it done against an Oklahoma State defense that ranks 35th in the nation. So you might as well just cash in your rushing and tell the guys, you might as well we're going to try to air this thing out and see what happens. Oklahoma State's covered 13 of their last 16 games overall, including a 6-1-1 record against the spread in their last 8 home games. Texas Tech has not covered the spread on the road this season. They just seem like a whole different team on the road, which most teams do, but this is like night and day. And I would play this lineup to possibly 11.5 to 12.5, but it's staying right at -9, and you're getting a really good value, -108. So you're getting close to $1 for $1 with Oklahoma State, under 10 points. That just about made the, one of my best bets. So that's a game I would focus on also Saturday. I do like UCLA at home +4.5. Utah's a great team, but I think this is where Utah is really they're going to really have to strap it on. And I really had this game circled for a few weeks now. And I know Utah goes on the road to play USC, and they're probably looking ahead. It's one of these look ahead spots. You see a great team, and then you see a team that could probably throw them off their game. This is, I think, a spot where this could possibly happen. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't say no to sprinkling some money on the money line for UCLA. Utah has bounced back from its opening week loss at Florida. The Utes have averaged 46 points per game, which is just crazy good. And they've allowed just under 11 points per game. But the unbeaten Bruins are scoring 41 points a game themselves and just allowing 20 points. So that they're not too far off from each other. And UCLA has the 6th best run defense in the nation. So that's something that I think Vegas, they may have overlooked that. This line is definitely, I almost think it's going the wrong way. I almost think it should be really close to a pick 'em. I think Utah is overvalued here, especially when you look at last week in its win over Oregon State. Utah was outgained by the Beavers. They gave up more first downs and benefited from Oregon State's turnovers, including a pick 6. In fact, the Utes offense hasn't scored more than 35 points in a game this season, except against FCS Southern Utah. So UCLA will take away the best thing that Utah does, and that's run the football. So Utah is going to end up being, one-dimensional in this game, and they can do it. Cam Rising had come into this season as a fringe Heisman Trophy candidate. But it's been UCLA's quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson that has been making headlines on that side of the United States, completing nearly 75% of his passes with 11 touchdowns and only 1 interception, leading the Bruins to their offense to over 500 yards per game. I just don't see it, guys. I think this is a really, really, really good bet. UCLA's 4-1 against the spread in its last 5 games as a home dog. So can Coach Chip Kelly win this big time? Can he get a win at home? This would be one of the UCLA's bigger wins that they've had in a long time. So UCLA plus 4.5. It dipped. I've seen it dip as low as 3.5. You're almost at $1 for $1 there. So there's just tons of games, and we'll go over them more tomorrow, and then we'll go over them Saturday morning when a lot of these things start to they get their final, final numbers will be coming in, and you'll see some of these numbers move around a little bit. But as for tonight, we don't have any baseball. The next baseball we got Tampa and Cleveland tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon in Cleveland. So, and then we've got let's see. That's 12 o'clock noon. Okay, so then at 4 o'clock, we've got Seattle at Toronto. So check out our Facebook page early in the morning. I should have these up by, we'll say 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. All the picks for tomorrow. I may break down the college games a little better for you if you guys are really thinking of betting on those 4 college games. If you really feel like you need to, maybe sprinkle some money on some of them. I'll see if I can dig up some more better information on them to maybe sway you a certain way. But throw down in the comments section games that you guys would like handicap, and I can take care of that for you. I can send you an email. I can do whatever I got to do, send you whatever information I got on some of these games for you. Just pop those down in the comment section. Let's see. We will, you know what? I'm going to have a lot of, because now they're going all out. So the prop plays are going to really be coming in good. We'll do some same game parlays. Not a big fan of parlays. That's parlays in a way are almost like a scam. They offer you such crazy good money, but if you don't hit all the different plays in that parlay, you can do 2-team, 3-team, 4-team. You can do a player. You can do a team with added with runs, and then some prop plays, and put them all together and get a really nice payout. But you got to hit them all, and those are really tough to do. We do hit them, more often than not on some of the two-team parlays we'll hit. 3-team are obviously a little harder. Then once you go past 3, it becomes more spread out. But 2 and 3 we can hit. Just send me some games you like, and I can kind of guide you with some parlay possibilities also. So yeah, we've got that for tomorrow. Jay will be back, and we'll see what he thinks on these baseball games tomorrow. So yeah, we've got those 2, and then the college football. But as for tonight, let's jump on Indy. It's -3 right, or no, it's +3 right now. I'm definitely digging that. And then starting tomorrow, it's chaos. Baseball, football. You also got your NBA preseason stuff, which is kind of goofy to do. I've posted a few preseason plays, but they're almost impossible to hit because they're trying different things out. But no, we'll have some more bets for you tomorrow. And if you drop them in the comments section, I will talk about them on tomorrow's show with JC. And Jay, if you're watching, I hope you enjoy your show tonight. And for all you gamblers out there, let's get a Colts win tonight. Maybe we'll sprinkle some money on the money line, and we'll start off the NFL weekend on the right foot. All right. So till tomorrow, hit like, hit subscribe, and throw me down some games you want me to break down for you, and I will do that live on tomorrow's show. Other than that, have a safe night, and we shall see you